if you move. Okay. I think that's all on the announcements. So we have a wonderful training tonight. We are so blessed to have a special, very special trainer for us tonight. In fact, it's so special that we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't even have this company if it wasn't for him. And we would not. In fact, some of these people in this room wouldn't even be in this world if it wasn't for him and his dear sweet wife. But we, he is, you know, has had it made in the shade, so to speak, when he decided that for the sake of others coming up, he wanted to provide a way for people to have the same kind of opportunity he had to create the lifestyle of your dreams. So we're all so grateful for that opportunity. And so I want to introduce to you the man, the leader, the legend, Scott Webb.
Appreciate that. Raj, you'll have to help me. Is that on already? It is, right? So, not yet. I don't need it quite yet, but when I'm going to get there.
So, you know you're going to share it, right?
Yes. When I get there.
Okay.
You guys, I'm excited to be here with you tonight and share some things. As I talked with different, with Tiffany first, about a week ago, we started coming up with a couple of things that we were bouncing off of each other, and I took it into the partner meeting, and so a lot of the things that I'm going to cover today, we're going to go through a number of questions with multiple choice, multiple guess, however you want to say it. But it was all about developing a winner's mindset. You know, as I came into the financial services industry, and I saw it as my business. I was a business owner day one. I didn't own the company, but I owned my company, just like you guys own your company coming into this. And I always treated it as though I had a big-time job. And I thought, you know, if I had a job, how would I respond to this situation that came up? You know, would I get fired? Would I be okay? Depending on the answer that I came up with. And so every Thursday for me was like, okay, I have to be there. If I had a job, I'd have to be there. So it was not a question. And it blows my mind how often people make decisions based upon, oh, I'm self-employed, I can do whatever I want. That day comes when you have hit certain levels of income and you can walk, you know, make those kinds of decisions. But when you're first starting out, it's got to be an all-in mindset. And so, you know, I wanted to go over some things that teaches us how to have a winner's mindset. You know, we grew up in an environment of everybody gets a trophy. You know, you play at the Utah Jazz, everybody gets a trophy. There's not a champion anymore. Life doesn't work like this, you guys. Not everybody's going to get a trophy. Trophies are earned. Go to the NBA right now. They all want a championship, but they have to earn that championship. There's only one MVP, by the way. Not everybody gets it. And there's people that get upset about that. Oh man, I didn't get my trophy. I didn't get my MVP trophy this year. Somebody else got it. Oh, that's not fair. I'm an MVP too. No, there's only one. You have to earn it, right? You have to earn it. And the same in your business. Just because you're a business owner does not mean it's going to be successful for you. It will be if you follow certain principles. Our business is not personality driven. It's systems driven. I don't care if you're a type A, B, C, D personality, whatever the personality types there are, is irrelevant. What matters is that you show some discipline and you follow through with the system. Okay? So we wanted to go through some things that maybe could just, hopefully we can have some fun with this and can be kind of enlightening a little bit to us as well. So let me see See if I can figure it out. So, I don't see Apple, there we go, let's see, no. I see Tasha's and Mike's Apple TV. It's not bedroom, is it? And why am I having that in here?
This is training.
Training, oh.
We call it putting out your personal.
Lamb?
The buttons. No. Yeah, there you go.
Why didn't you just do it then?
Takes me a second.
Obviously it took me a second.
We're riding these out.
Okay. So, that didn't work right.
You gotta pick
Hit play up the top.
I did. Hey. I don't know how to move the next thing, but there we are.
It's just screen. Tap.
Huh?
Just
Am I
tap.
doing it wrong?
No.
Okay. What if you're in a meeting and it's running long? These are gonna be just, these questions were from all the partners, random. There's no certain order here. This is like taking a test. Okay? What if you're in a meeting and it's running long? Client wants to fill out an app or give their financial information to you. Should you reschedule because you're running behind for another appointment? Should you skip the recruiting pitch? Should you fill out the app and reschedule the new appointment that you're running late for? What would you do?
C.
You'd do C,
Fill out that app, reschedule the other appointment.
but the other people are gonna be, guys, this happens all the time. And sometimes it happens because we're not comfortable with the application process. Or maybe what's coming up next and gathering the information, and we might shut that meeting off short so we can jump off to our other meeting because we're more comfortable just giving the presentation. You know, there's an old saying called, "A bird in the hand's worth two in the bush." I have no idea what it means. other than, you know, complete where you are, finish the job, right? You've got a sale on that you're working on, complete that. Reschedule the other one if you have to, because you have no idea where that one's going, but this one you can complete and get done, right?
That's
I-
actually a really good.
I have a, what?
That was a really good question.
I have a prospect interested in the opportunity and becoming a client. Should I schedule a follow-up for the client side, schedule a follow-up for recruiting, schedule a follow-up for recruiting and client side at the same time, invite to the BPM and schedule a client follow-up separately, keeping them separate? What do you think you should do here? Feel free to read it again.
Depends on if they're local, probably.
No time but the present. That's how I look at it.
I have a prospect interested in the opportunity and becoming a client. Should I schedule a follow-up for the client side, schedule a follow-up for the recruiting, schedule a follow-up for recruiting and client side at the same time, or invite them to the BPM and schedule a client follow-up separately, keeping them separate? Huh?
D.
D. Why do I want to keep them separate? I could schedule one meeting and knock them both out at the same time, couldn't I? You can, and I've done that.
Doesn't work.
And it doesn't work good. You run out of time inevitably, okay?
Yeah.
I like to make sure that we're teaching everyone, keep them separate. Invite them to the BPM. If you're doing a BPM not here and you're doing it online or somewhere, schedule it separately. Talk opportunity, keep them separate. The only time they're together is on the first appointment when you bring it up for 1 minute just to see if there's any interest. Other than that, I schedule a time for the BPM over here. You can come to the BPM, or we're going to do it. We're going to schedule your client stuff over here for the follow-up, and we're going to keep them completely separate. Because if they're not interested in the business, and let's say down the road they're not interested in the business, I don't want to lose the sale. I want to keep them completely separated. All right? So please keep them separate. It's very easy to try and condense them to one because you think it makes sense. I'm just telling you, it doesn't make sense. Yes?
If they attend a local BPM, that follow-up can turn into an interview and you reschedule another client side if you need to. But I think it's important for people to know that if possible, opportunity first. They'll become a client through internal consumption.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. If a prospective recruit schedules a hiring interview with my partner, should I walk them to their car and spend 30 to 60 minutes talking about the business opportunity after they've scheduled the interview? So let's say if someone was here tonight, you had a guest here, they schedule an interview with one of the partners, now you walk them outside to the car, and you're out there for 30 to 60 minutes just shooting the breeze, maybe talking more about the business or whatever, how they should join or whatever. Or B, do I walk them just to our front doors of the office and say goodbye? Or C, walk them to the front doors of the office while encouraging them to be on time, dress sharp, be prepared to talk about their background and stories of success, and a few good questions for the partner. Which one would you think is most appropriate?
Wow, they're all so good. C. You guys, I think it's important, always, not occasionally, always, when you have scheduled a hiring interview with a potential person that's going to hire on with the company, make sure you let them know this isn't a given. They may not get hired on. Okay, we turn people away. I've turned away people all the time. If they don't have the right attitude and I don't see myself working with them, I'm not hiring them. Okay? So I hope you take the same attitude. This isn't a multi-level. You don't need everybody to join your business. They're not paying a monthly fee and you're getting a commission. Okay? It doesn't work like that. You get to pick and choose who you're going to work with, and the partners are going to pick and choose who they want to work with. So you want to encourage this person. Man, bring your best self, right? Dress sharp. Be on time. Have some good stories about who you are and some success stories that you might have had in your past. You always want to be encouraging them this, okay? Very important, because how you treat them, what you say to them, is how they're going to perceive our business. Is it professional or is it some multi-level thing? You treat it that way, they're going to treat it that way. You treat it professional, they'll treat it professional. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
If a prospective recruit no-shows the hiring interview, so they were here tonight, you got this hiring interview scheduled, you know, you told them, you sent them out right, you said, hey, be on time, this and that, but they no-show the appointment. Should you A, reschedule the interview, B, there is no other interview? What do you think?
C.
I would put C.
Oh.
There is no interview, and I'm going to send them an invoice.
Okay? You know, if you went for if you had a job interview scheduled for a big-time job, one that can pay him hundreds of thousands, if not millions a year, and you no-showed that job interview, what would happen? Are you getting another one?
No.
You're not. And you partners, don't give them another one. If you just, oh, that's okay, you come in tomorrow. What kind of business are you running? And it's not going to be very successful, okay? You guys, I'm serious about this. We don't need everybody here. We want them with the right mindset. We want them to understand what we have our hands on is a life-changing business opportunity if they will take it and run with it, okay? There is no other interview. So set it up properly when they leave about how they need to be on time and be there, and don't miss this because you might not get another shot. Okay? Okay, you only have 20 bucks in your checking account. Just getting started in the business, you're kind of struggling financially. Should you pay the past due Netflix bill, order DoorDash, or register for Super Saturday? I don't know, what do you think?
Were you a C student?
Huh?
Were you a C student?
Me?
Yeah, because the C's are all the answers.
Well, sometimes
She's good.
Yeah, right?
C's are good students. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. What do you think you think C is the right answer? Or are you just playing with that?
C's the only one that will turn potentially more money.
Exactly.
C's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
If not millions,
Yeah.
right?
You could order a lot of DoorDash.
Absolutely. And Netflix, never be late again, right? If someone on my team is struggling financially, should I lend them money? Tell them to get another job? C, split a sale with them that they weren't a part of? Or D, encourage them to get to work and schedule more appointments? You don't want to lend them money? Are you a bank? You're not a bank. Your partner is not a bank. Our company is not a bank. We're a financial institution. We build businesses, right? We help people with their building their business. You help people with building their business. Okay? You don't want, if you get into the lending game, I've done this, by the way. Tiffany and I, we did this. And this is why this is one of the questions. Okay? We did this. We had some people that were close to us in business, good friends. There were several different situations that we did this in, where we lent people some significant amounts of money. Not one time did we get paid back. Some were close friends. Every one of them are not today. Not because of us. They felt awkward for not having paid it back, and the relationship kind of disappeared. Just help people make more money, okay? You're not a bank. One of my agents is having marital problems. Do I, A, give counsel and advice, because my marriage is so great? B, encourage them to get divorced. Get rid of that. C, be a listening ear, but encourage them to see a marriage counselor. Or D, ignore them. What? Somebody said D? What do you think? They're kind of obvious most of the time, right? C is the answer. You guys, we're not marriage counselors. Now, it's okay to encourage them, to listen to them. Sometimes you might throw out something that may have worked in your marriage. It might be a good thing, but for the most part, you don't want to spend much time on this, okay? Be brief, but be a listening ear to them. You want to be a good friend. You want to be helpful that way, but have them get the advice from a professional, all right? If a client is more than 5 minutes late for a meeting, should I, A, continue waiting until they show up, B, call and complain to my partner about how badly I needed this appointment, C, reach out to the client and reschedule. Oops, that was it. What do you think? Huh? I think we missed D on here.
D was what? What was the answer to D?
Well, I mean, what's more than 5 minutes? Like 6 minutes, 20 minutes?
Well, let's talk about this, okay?
'Cause
I had many situations that I went through, and then I came to a final decision that I'd used the rest of my career. So I was waiting at a client's home. This is back when we didn't have internet, okay? So all meetings were done face to face. I'm sitting at in front of a client's house. And 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by, and I couldn't reach them on the phone. And after about 20 minutes, they pulled up and pulled in the parking lot. And there I sit. They're pulling up, and there I sit, 20 minutes late, right? And we walk in, and I do the meeting. Guess who felt like their time wasn't very important? Me, right from the start. They had the upper hand right from the start, okay? This happened a few times. I finally got to a point where I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. My time is busy. I have other things to do. I started doing this. After 5 minutes, I'd reach out to them on a phone call. If I got a hold of them, they said, hey, I'm just around the corner. I'm pulling right in. I'd be like, great. I'm glad you're just around the corner, because otherwise I'd be late for my next appointment. Let them know you're busy, okay? If you're going to be a few more minutes, if they say, hey, it looks like I'm running about 15, 20 minutes behind, what am I going to say? We need to reschedule this. Whether I had a meeting after this or not, we need to reschedule this, because it's going to put me behind for the rest of the day, okay? Rescheduling is okay. It's way better. You want to keep yourself in that important position that your time is important and it's valuable. It's as valuable as theirs. When someone shows up late, the unsaid thing is, my time's more valuable than yours. Sometimes there's reasons why they're late. Doesn't matter. That kind of is the unsaid thing. And I'm willing to give 5 minutes on that, but after 5 minutes, I'm rescheduling that meeting, okay? If I show up to an appointment with my trainee, huh?
You wanted to add to that one on that question, what do you do with that time that you rescheduled, so now you have this.
I think that's coming up in another question. I think I know what you're saying. If it doesn't, bring that back up again, I'll address it. I showed up to an appointment with my trainee from off of his training list, but only one of the spouses was there. Should I, A, do the appointment anyway because it was so hard for the trainee to get the appointment? B, reschedule an appointment when both spouses can attend? Or C, reprimand the trainee in front of the prospective client of how they should have made sure both spouses were there and storm out the door?
Make sure to cuss them out in the process.
I would say D, and I would say, listen, the appointment was for both spouses. What I have to show you is so important that I know that you wouldn't be able to do justice of being able to give to the other spouse what I'm about to share with you. So let's reschedule out of courtesy of your spouse so that you both can hear it together.
Which is basically B, right? You can say it however you're going to say it, but it's B. We're gonna.
But you tell the spouse why I'm not going to do the appointment.
Absolutely. You always tell them why you're going to reschedule the appointment.
Yeah.
Okay? You guys, I did bunches of appointments where when it was only one spouse. I can't remember a time when it ended successful. Because inevitably, the other spouse that wasn't there, the one gets excited. So they're excited. The other spouse comes home, wasn't there. And if the one's excited, what's the other one? Devil's advocate.
Yes.
Skeptical. Every time. Oh, you're so excited? Oh, yeah, okay. I guess I should have been there so I could have kept your feet on the ground, so to speak, right? And what happens inevitably, they fight back and forth on this, and we just don't get anywhere. Yes?
It's hard as the trainer. We know it's hard as the trainer, especially when you know someone's like doing a Smart Start. And what if that's their last one and they're short up? It's better for you to make sure it's done right because they'll lose the sale. I've done it too, where I do the appointment anyway, and it doesn't ever happen. It doesn't go through.
We've all done it because we feel so bad for the trainee. So we really want to help them out and do the appointment. And it's kind of awkward to reschedule because you're there. You might have driven an hour to the appointment. I've done this, right? It doesn't matter. It's going to be a waste of time, a waste of their names list, and it's better to reschedule this where now you have a chance to actually do something with them. that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got several things. First, I think you were up. Anita for me.
Most of the time, you're not gonna get that appointment rescheduled. There's gonna be all kinds of reasons why you can't get together after that happens. So that's why it's important that
That's right. If you,
have
if,
that spouse with
if
them.
you do the meeting, you almost never get back together
That's
again with the
exactly-
other spouse. It's a fact.
So I had an interesting situation with that. I did an appointment on a one-legged deal. I don't like to do them. And I asked the person,
What do you mean by that?
meaning that the spouse, one of the spouses
Okay.
wasn't there. You know?
Okay.
So anyways, I told the guy straight up, I'm like, so where's your wife? Well, I make all the financial decisions. I said, I bet you do, but I
Hear that every
guarantee you
time.
she controls everything you do. And he's like, I promise you, I make the decisions. I said, yeah. When I ask you to start writing a check, you're gonna ask me to go talk to your wife, aren't you? So, the bottom line was, I went ahead and I did the presentation, and he says, this is so good, I don't want my wife to get one, I want it. I want the deal right here, let's do it. And I did the app on him.
Well, that's awesome.
But
That's
I
such a
said-
rare deal.
I know, that's what I said, it's just rare. But I said, what about your wife? He's like, we can come back and get her later. I want mine now. That's
Okay.
not normal, people.
No.
That is
You had
not
something,
normal.
Mike?
I was gonna say something along the same lines. Every time somebody says that I make the financial decisions,
They don't.
you'll be surprised how many times the other spouse has opinions on the finances after that. So
It's
at
a
least have them.
sharp looking watch you got there, Mike.
Thank you.
That's
At
nice.
least have them in the first meeting, and then they can say, yeah, the spouse can go do whatever they want to do, but they at least are on the same page that way too.
Yep. Go ahead.
So it's cut and dry when they're actually married, but I found there's also a common scenario where they live with someone, and so you get into the meeting, you start talking to them, and you've already started, and then you find out they actually live with someone else while you're doing the financial review. How do you?
That can happen for sure. And I would say even more and more frequent today than 30 years ago, right? I would probably go ahead and finish the appointment. If they commingle their funds, which they don't always, right? Sometimes they might live together, but they have separate accounts. Then that's still okay, in my opinion, individually. But if they are putting their money in the same account, but you're already halfway through the meeting, go ahead and finish, obviously. I wouldn't end it at that point and say, oh, I gotta end, I didn't, you know. I'd finish it and, you know, do your best to schedule another time if you can, but.
I think my question actually is more, how do we maybe find that out politely beforehand? Because also, even if they say they don't have their money together, they still are in that second appointment going and saying.
Guess it depends on if it's a cold lead or if it's a trainee, right? A trainee's gonna know this, this is their friend, right? This is their friend or family, so they're gonna know. If it's a cold lead, you're probably not gonna necessarily know that up front.
When I send out a Zoom link, I make sure to include wife and husband, and then I just recently said, hey, you know, my boyfriend at the time, future husband, isn't gonna be able to make the meeting, so that's a way to find out prior.
Yeah, and if they're not married but they're engaged, I would treat it kind of the same way. I'd like to have them both there if possible, okay?
I would say don't be afraid to ask some questions too when you're getting to know them. You know, you can ask stuff like that. I don't think people are pretty, like, super private about, you know, usually you can get into, like, if they're married or if they're dating or something along those lines, so don't be afraid to ask.
Now, let's be clear. There is no law. You're not gonna get, you know, fined and thrown in prison because you did the meeting without both of them there, right? In fact, I would bet you that most partners in here within the last 60 days have probably overstepped the bounds on this. But it's kind of a good guideline to try and do everything we can to have both spouses there. Okay? So these are guidelines. Now these are hard, fast rules. This is just best practices, if you will. Okay? All right.
if I have a meeting scheduled and it no-shows or reschedules, this is the one you were asking about, Tiffany.
Yes. You just have to make sure, because, I was wrong.
Yeah. So I have a meeting scheduled and it no-shows or reschedules. Should I go wash the car? Grab lunch because I'm starving? Make a call to a friend or spouse or whatever? Or D, take that time that was already scheduled to do an appointment, be productive and schedule 2 to 4 new appointments, or call teammates to help get those appointments scheduled during that hour I was going to be working. What do you think? Any of these are okay. Okay, I mean, you need to wash your car, you need to grab some lunch. But I got to tell you, I made this a rule of thumb early on. And people thought I was nuts. Almost nobody did this. But I did, and it changed my life. Because we all get no-shows. We all have appointments that get rescheduled at the last minute. Okay? So there I am. I have that time set. So I'm thinking, to fight back against whatever's fighting them and trying to not let me win, okay? For me to fight back, I'm getting 2 minimum. I'm going for 4, but I'm going to get at least 2 meetings scheduled for this one that just didn't happen. You guys changed my business. Most people, oh, I didn't really want that to happen anyway. I'm glad. Man, I'm starving. I'm going to go get something to eat. Or, you know, let me look at my phone. Oh, I got these people I got to call back. They've been texting me. That has nothing to do with business, but I got to get back with them. You know, it's not, I would suggest to you, this is a winning attitude, right? That's what we're trying to develop here, is a winning attitude. I would take it to that level of, I'm self-employed. I got to get my business off the ground. I'm not going to make any money if I don't move. It's not a job where you can go sit behind behind a desk at a cubicle and fiddle around and not get anything done and still get paid. You're in charge. You pay you, right? The question is, would you hire you? Would you hire you? That's a big question to be faced with. Off of your work ethic of what you've performed so far since you've been with Common Sense Financial, if you were picking from anybody you could hire, would you hire you? And if you answer no to that, only you can change that, right? But that's the ability. That's the beauty. You can change that. You can change it just like that. You can change it anytime. Things like that can happen fast. You can change your business in 30 days so quickly. So quickly. Okay?
Hey Scott, I just wanted to add a comment to that question too. One of the things I try to do when I'm traveling to an appointment, I'm always making phone calls as I'm driving.
I love that. Yeah, great time to do that, right? And if you aren't calling people, then you should at least have some podcast in that's focusing your mind in the right place. Seriously. Man, that's your university on wheels, if you will. Okay? You can't get enough good stuff going in here to change the way we think. Because what we're trying to do is get our mind to think instantly the right answer, the positive thing, the go work harder answer, the go get it done answer rather than the lazy one. Most of us tend to go to the lazy thing. And that's a learned thing too. When you were a baby, you didn't think that way. When you learned to crawl and you started learning how to walk, which we all went through, and you got up and you fell down and bumped your head and cried and fell down and bumped your head and cried and over, Mom and Dad didn't say, that's enough. You need to just give up. It's okay. Why do we do that now? Why, when you see somebody go that's struggling through something, maybe it's a business, maybe it's school, maybe it's whatever, and it's okay to say, you know what, I'd give up on that. Why don't you go a different direction? We're crippling ourselves, right, and each other. No, when you're a baby, you don't give up, and we don't tell them to give up. We say, no, that's how it is. Everybody goes through that. You guys, when you're in business and you're going to win in business, you're going to fail a ton. That's part of the deal. That's part of the learning curve, and it's okay. That's how it works. That doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean you change direction, because if you do, you ain't never winning. done. So you bumped your head. Ow, it's okay, let's go on. It's the beginning of the month. I owe office rent. Let's say you have an office and with a number of people. It's the beginning of the month. I owe office rent and my house payment, but only currently have enough to pay one. Should I pay house payment and put others at the office at risk of being late of overall office rent payment? Should I B, pay the office rent because as long as I have a business expense, I don't have profit yet? Or C, crawl up in the corner in fetal position and do nothing, hoping it will solve itself? What do you think? This is a tough one. If you owned a McDonald's franchise and you had employees and you had a bad month and you have only so much in the checking account, you have employees you have to pay, but you also have your house payment, what one would you pay? Honest question, what one would you pay?
Employees.
If you don't pay your employees, what happens?
You don't have a business.
It's also probably against the law, right? I mean, some might call it embezzlement or something like that. You're taking money from the company that belongs to other people. When you are a business owner, which you all are, when you're a business owner, there's not a profit until after you pay your business expenses. We got some business owners in the back, right? You have to pay your business expenses before there's a profit, right? If someone has an office, they got to pay that business expense by paying a house payment before the business expense. I know that puts you behind the 8 ball, but it puts you behind the 8 ball, not including everyone else behind the 8 ball. You with me? That's our responsibility. We got to own up to it, go to work, and not pass the buck around to everybody, but leave it on us and take our licks and make it our responsibility to fix that. Okay? Does that make sense? Anybody disagree? Feel free. It's okay. You can disagree. I mean, you might be wrong, but you can disagree on that question. If I show up at the office to go to work, it's locked. I don't have a key. Do I A, drive home, B, get in my car and wait until someone shows up, C, go to the back door through the storage room and use the table and go to work in the back? I bring this up because I watched Ephraim do this. I came in the other day and he's sitting out there and he couldn't get in the door and he's sitting out there at a table and he's working. I couldn't have been more proud. That's what you do. That's what you do. Or you do a meeting from your car. Your car could probably link into the internet. If it can't, you could hopefully have internet enough on your phone to still do the meeting. But you get creative and you don't say no. It was awesome. I walked by and I looked over and, what's he doing sitting out there? And then somebody told me that the doors were locked. Pretty guy here. I think you were doing a meeting. It was awesome. It was awesome. You find a way to make it work. Again, too many of us find a way to say, oh, it didn't work. I got to reschedule that, or it didn't happen for me. It's all about attitude, a winning attitude. Do not be denied. My birthday's coming up on May 4th. We have a convention at the same time. My friends want to go celebrate. Do I A, celebrate with friends because it's a big one? Maybe it's a 30, 40, 50 or something, you know? Do I attend convention and celebrate with friends at another time? Stay home and do neither.
How about D?
Huh?
How about D? Recruit your friends and bring them all to convention.
That's even better, right? I can't tell you how many birthdays I have not celebrated on my birthday because some other event was going on. Same with Tiffany. Our anniversary and her birthday fall right on the line when our Top Guns were going on a lot of times in the past.
And so we had to adjust our anniversary to a different day, celebrate it on a different day, or birthdays on a different day. You know, most of your families do this anyway. Some of you say, hey, let's get together on Sunday and celebrate all the birthdays that happened this last month. It doesn't have to be on that exact day. You can adjust it. It's amazing. You are in charge. It's your life. You can say, yes, that's the day, and it's special to me inside, but I'm going to celebrate it over here on a different time. It's okay. Yes?
This doesn't just apply to convention, by the way. Everything is an event.
Thursday, Saturday, Super Saturdays, Top Gun, conventions, right? I've done plenty of meetings on my birthday. I was slammed with appointments, and I'm like, I'm going to celebrate on date night or something because I'm booked this day. I've seen too many people take the whole day off saying, and it's like a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and they could be doing tons of meetings. They're like, oh, it's my birthday. Woohoo! Take the day off, and you can. That's the beauty. You can. There is nothing wrong with it. But there is a difference in a winner's mindset and just an average, ordinary mindset. Right? Again, if somebody does that, I'm not going to fault you for it. That's your decision. It's a choice. This is not a right or wrong. But I do believe there's a difference in attitude of someone that's fighting for their family's success and their success in their business. My college graduation is the same weekend as convention. Ooh. Do I attend graduation because it happens once in my lifetime? B, attend convention because if I don't go, my team won't go and I will miss important information that can change my life. I'm not going to tell you what to do on this, right? This is a decision someone has to make. There's not a right or wrong. It's a decision. But I do know we have several people. Who's some of them?
Spencer, I think Isaac.
Spencer, Isaac,
and John Nelson's missing his son.
and John Nelson is missing his son's graduation. Why would you do that, Spencer?
You get paid to graduate.
You don't get paid to grad, but you only walk once, and you worked really hard for that.
Buy a cap and gown and take pictures another time. Like,
Okay, I like it. Isaac,
I made that commitment and, to go to convention. And I was super excited actually. I was like, okay, you know what? This is my master's. I'm gonna walk.
yeah, it's a big
And I was
deal.
like, oh, that's May 5th. Okay, never mind, I guess.
See, it's a decision, right? Now, if you went to that instead of convention, nobody's gonna like complain about it. But guess what? You would miss some incredible information that might be what you needed to hear that would change your business career. You don't know what meeting, you don't know what training you're gonna go to where you hear a nugget that was what you needed. You don't know. This happened to me. I went to my first Top Gun meeting, and I was like, this was a special meeting for me. I got some stuff that changed everything. I'm like, I can't ever miss another meeting. And then I can't tell you how many times I've been to meetings, and while I'm sitting there and somebody's talking, I'm writing it down like, I knew so-and-so should have been here. This is exactly what they needed, and he just missed it. People hear things in a meeting. You may have told them the same thing 5 or 10 times or more, but they hear it different from somebody else saying it than you. Yes.
There's really just no way to describe the importance of convention. Like if you had a major event happen in your family, you'd be there no matter what. Work or not, you'd figure it out. And I think when people understand the commitment level of doing something like that for convention and the launch that comes, it's not something that you can tangibly understand until you physically experience it. You have to put that level of commitment if you expect to win. And
Absolutely.
that's why we push you so hard.
Question again. If I had a job, you just graduating with a master's degree, let's say you had gotten a job and you had to work that day of graduation. Would you show up at your job or would you show up at the graduation? If you treat this like a job,
If you, look, treat it like a hobby, it's gonna pay you like a hobby. Treat it like a big-time profession, and it's gonna pay you like a big-time profession. Okay? Period. I'm on bed rest, sick, and I can't do appointments. Should I, A, binge watch TV shows, B, catch up on my journaling, C, do my continuing education, which is very important to do, or contact and schedule for future appointments?
Well, your Netflix account is already not paid for.
You know, you might have time for all of this, right? Nobody's saying if you're sitting, laying there in bed that you take 24 hours a day calling and contacting people. But man, if you want to get ahead, make sure you're taking some time to do that. Go ahead and take time to get your continuing education out of the way too. That's important. You might want to watch a show or two. It's okay to get your mind focused off of something. It's not got to be 24/7, but it is important to think about it and to be focused on saying, what can I do to move my business forward? You know, I played a lot of basketball growing up, and I remember playing in games, and in the middle of the game, we might be down, okay, might be down, and I would think to myself, what can I do right now? What can I do right now to change the outcome of this game? And you guys, I'm telling you, it's amazing how many times I was able to change the outcome of that game by consciously thinking about it. And how you can consciously move your business forward by thinking about, what can I do right now? How can I move my business forward? And then you take action on it. Action is a great word. Activity, action, will solve every problem you have in your life. Do you believe that? Mm-hmm. Think about any problem. I got a sore muscle. What do? Just leave it there? Do I massage it, try and work it out? It's action, right? I'm hungry. Somebody gonna feed you? No, you have to feed yourself. You take action. Make the hunger pains go away, okay? Everything in life is about action. And as you take action, you solve every problem. Or we can sit and stew about stuff and take no action and nothing changes. You want to make big money? Take action and continue to take the action over and over and over again, and it will happen. You know, success isn't for just some. Success is for everyone that wants to go get it. It's not, oh, I hope I'm that guy. I hope I'm lucky enough to have it happen to me. No. Are you tough enough to go through the sheesh that you're going to have to go through to get there and fight your way through it and show up and do meetings when the doors are locked, stuff like that, right? Everyone can win and should win. There's every trophy. Everyone gets a trophy because you freaking earn it. Okay? Not because he give it to you because you just played. You earn the trophy. You can all have one. We don't have just a select amount of these $100,000 rings we're giving out. I'd like everybody to get one. We're not limiting them. Oh, it's only the first 10 people. There's no limiting. On our contests, Estes Colorado, we're not limiting. We're not saying, we're only taking the top 20. We'll take everyone that wins it. Okay? That's how we play. We play, hey, we'll let everyone win. Everyone can have the trophy, but everyone's got to earn the trophy, right? I'm at home with kids all day and a full-time parent, so I can't really work. Can I, A, work when little breaks come up? B, catch a social media, TV show, email, etc., catch up on. Give up and convince myself I don't have time. A. It's a good choice, right? But But we can make any of these choices again. Choices we have a right to do. That's the one right we have in our lives, is we get to make choices. And all those choices that we've all made in our lives have led us to exactly where we are right now. You sit where you are right now with who you are right now, with the bank account you have right now, with the situations you have right now, because of the decisions that you've made in your life up till now. Would that be fair? It's not just fair, it's exact. It's exact. We all go through crap. We can't control someone else, but we can control us. And we can control the decisions that we make each and every day. And we all make good decisions and we all make bad decisions. We all make learning decisions. But those decisions have put us exactly where we are. Maybe we've learned a lot from those decisions and we know how to get out of where we are because we want to get out. Or maybe we're like, hey, I really like where I'm at and I want to go to the next level, but I have to make other decisions to get there. But those decisions have put us where we are. Okay?
Rebecca Jensen online said, children are not a career breaker. We do it for our family. They become the why and the why not.
Exactly.
Oh, and not the why not. Excuse
They
me.
become the why. The family's the reason to do it. Don't use them as an excuse for you deciding it's too hard or it's too tough. It is easy. We can use any excuse, all of us. We can use any excuse. Okay? We all are good at it. We are good at coming up with excuses. I am a master, I promise you. I'm a master at it, as are you. It's learning how to control those and get that winning mindset working for us more often than not. And guess what? You don't have to be perfect at it. You just have to be better than you are right now and continuing to focus to get better at it. Because we're never going to be great at it. We're never going to be perfect at it. We're always going to be flawed. We're always going to have all kinds of problems. But we can make enough of those winning decisions that it changes our lives. When scheduling an appointment and someone says they need to talk with their spouse or check with their schedule, should I, A, agree and wait for them to call you back? B, agree and follow up with them later? C, agree but ask for a set time for the appointment, but tell them to get back to you if it doesn't work? Or D, set an appointment and tell them that unless they know otherwise, you'll be at the appointment. Do we need to read it again?
D.
Huh?
D.
You say D? Anybody say anything else? So what I found in my career, okay, is that this happens to all of us. Okay, it might be somebody, it might be a phone call, might not even be a scheduled appointment. You're trying to schedule an appointment, right, or something. Anyway, they say you agree and say, oh yeah, just call me back. You hand them your business card. Call me when you get a free moment. Do they ever call? I'm still waiting. It's been 30 years on some of those phone calls. Agree and follow up with them later. I've done this too. Hey, I agree. Let me call you. Let me call you tomorrow. Let me call you next week. Can you ever reach them after that?
No.
It's amazing how all of a sudden, what, do they not know it's me calling? No, they know it's you. That's the problem, right? They're avoiding you. C, agree but ask for a set time for the appointment, but tell them to get back to you if it doesn't work. For them to get back with you, right? How many times have you been no-showed by something like that? Or say, I'm going to schedule an appointment. Let's set this time. Now here's the situation. I'm going to be at your house at that time, or I'm going to be online at that time, unless you tell me otherwise. I like that one. It tends to work out better more often. okay? When do you follow up? By the way, these aren't even my questions. These come from all of our, I think I have a small handful. These come from our partners. Okay? And they're going through the same things I've gone through, and they came up with the same darn answers that I would have come up with, and you're coming up with basically the same answers, right? It's amazing. It makes sense. But so many times we might choose to do something that's a little easier, it appears, but it's actually harder in the long run. It's always easier to handle it right in the first place. When you do a follow-up and they ask for time to think about it, do you leave them to reach out? This is basically like the other one, right? When they're ready, or let the trainee follow up with them. That's big. You're the trainer. You're trying to schedule a follow-up. Do you let the trainee handle that appointment scheduling?
No.
Or you'll call them later for another time, or do you schedule a time to get back together? You trainers need to know, when you've done that first appointment, you got to make sure that that potential client or potential recruit or whoever's in front of you knows you're now the contact person. Trainees over here, they're your friend, they're your family, whatever, but we're working off of my time and your time. They'll be here if they can. Okay? It's now right here. You give them your business card, you schedule that appointment, and you say, if something comes up, reach out to me, because Joe over here, we're working off our schedules. He'll do it best as he can to be there. Okay? Don't rely on the trainee to get this done. You've now been introduced. It's up to you as a trainer to take charge of that. Because you're teaching. You're teaching the trainee, right? When someone agrees to meet but asks to confirm with them later, do you have a set, solid appointment? Do you have a tentative appointment? Do you not really have an appointment at all?
You don't have an appointment.
Yeah, if I talk to someone and they say, hey, I'll confirm, and ask for you to confirm, they say, yeah, let's schedule a time, but could you call me and confirm with me later? Do you have a set, solid appointment? Nope. Do you have a tentative appointment? Kinda. But really, it's C. You don't really have an appointment at all. Because they're expecting you to call them back. That's not an appointment. Okay? What do I do when I have no meetings? Should I talk to other agents and teams about my struggles? Should I go to my upline partner for suggestions and ideas? Wait around for someone to contact me? Think positive and a miracle will happen. What do you think? What would be the best answer here?
Get on the phone and schedule appointments, go knock doors,
That's
get
not-
out and talk.
That's
B.
not one of the choices.
B.
B, go to your upline partner. You say, you know what, I'm out of names. I don't know who to call. I don't know what to do. Your partner will have some new ideas for you, some suggestions to help keep you moving. I tell you, I've gone through so many different things, so many situations where I was out of names and I had to get creative and come up with something to come up with new names. I've got ideas like you can't believe, and so do the other partners. They've gone through this numerous times. They've tried things that have finally made it work. Boom, we got things we can give you. Okay, ideas that can help move you in a direction of winning.
Thinking positive is also good as well.
Thinking positive is good, but
You have to take action.
there you go. Thinking positive only gets you so far, right? If it looks good, if it looks like you're going to be late for training, is it better to A, just plug in online, B, show up late to training, C, not go at all?
Stop at Domino's and
I would
bring
go-
some pizza for everybody.
Go for option D. Plug in online until you make it to training and then come in.
I like that.
What do you say?
He said A and B. He would jump online while he's
on the drive and then turn it off as he walks in. I like that. That wasn't an option on here. See, that's a winning thinking. But that's really the best way to go. And we've had a number of people that have done that. I've seen that happen. That's a great answer. If you drive and if you and a trainee are waiting for a client to get online for a meeting, they text and say they're running 20 minutes behind. Should you, A, wait for them to get on, reschedule the meeting?
Reschedule.
We kind of went through this a little bit, right? I'd reschedule that meeting. I want more financial freedom for me and my family. What should I do? A, go for the highest producing contract I can find in the industry. Go for a slightly less personal contract, but be able to hire and train as many agents as I can with a great override. Or B, go back to school to get my master's or PhD to get a higher paying job. Could be a good answer too, right? For some people. You want more financial freedom, though, is the question. Yes.
A good friend of mine is a professor at the U. She has a PhD, and she makes $90,000 a year.
Did that give her financial freedom? Probably not.
B.
Okay. Terry Schellenberger, one of our partners, who's now retired but shows up at different events that we do, has 2 PhDs. Okay? Didn't pay him great with those 2 PhDs either. All right? Financial services did. So, some people have gone for A. I want the highest producing contract I can get. There's contracts out there higher than a partner contract of 70%. You might go find an 80 or a 90 or even sometimes a 100% contract if you've got some background, okay, in the industry. But what happens if you get sick, go on vacation? What happens to your income?
Stops.
If you're a personal producer and you can't produce, you're kind of done. So it didn't give you more financial freedom. But if you build a team and you teach these people and you help them become successful and you help them start to attain their dreams and goals, and you have a good override, better than I've ever seen in the industry is what we have here, wouldn't that tend to give you a little more financial freedom and freedom of time? This is what we're trying to help you do. Tiffany and I have had I don't know, if I could pull a computer chip out of my head and stick it in yours for the last 30 years of our lives to see what our lives have been like because we got after it. After 4.5 years, I came out of the field and I didn't have to show up at the office anymore if I didn't want to. My income continued to grow. Things were great. It was awesome. I see other people that have made good livings. I see other people that probably made more than we did, but didn't have the freedom and flexibility of their time. This to me was the biggest thing. When I started making over 100 grand a year, people say, man, you're doing all right. I said, they could pay me 25 grand a year and I'd do this. Because I wake up when I want to wake up. I work when I want to work. I'm in charge of my day. I'm in charge of my life. This was a tough thing for me. Growing up, when I was in junior high, you guys, I don't know, it just hit me at that age. And I started to recognize a few things. At junior high age, I hated school. I didn't actually hate the classes and I didn't hate the people. I hated having to go at that certain time every day. Some days I just want to sleep in. You know? Some days I said, I didn't want, but I had to go. I wasn't in charge. So high school came around. I missed a whole lot more school in high school. Back when I was going to high school, you didn't have a certain amount of attendance days. It was kind of like, you know, I still graduated. But I started to take some of those liberties, you know, and I enjoyed that. I got into college. Hey, they didn't take roll there either. I could show up kind of as I want, as long as I pass in the test, doing good, you know. That was kind of nice. But I was working a job at the same time I was in college, and it was a 40-hour-a-week job. And I had to punch a time clock. I hated it. I had to punch a time clock out. They were in charge of me. And they were only paying me this much. And they got to decide if I got a raise, and it was only going to ever get to this little bit more. Ever. I was this close to going in and talking to the boss to say, I'm going to be a lifer here. And what would that look like? Because I was in a situation at the time where I needed to make more money. I was at a point where I was just tired of school, and I thought, what if I became a lifer? What if I give you guys my life? What would that look like? This is the night before I was going to go in. And that night, I got a phone call from a buddy of mine, Barry Sawyer, one of our partners, and he invited me to go to a meeting with him. And I said, oh, yeah, go. He says, some business ideas they're going to talk to us about. And I'm like, well, probably couldn't be better timing. So I went to this meeting, and some guy showed me Amway. Now, I'd never heard of multi-level before in my life. I didn't know anything about it. But I got so excited about another possible scenario where I could be in charge of my own hours. I could be in charge of my own life. I didn't end up going in and talking to the boss the next day because I joined that deal. Now, I didn't make any money there. I put in 500 people in 18 months. I worked my tail off. I made $17,000 that year, but I spent $21,000 flying around building it. It was never profitable for me. Probably could have been if I stayed with it, because I believe I could have made money there. I just got a little burned out on it. It was a direction I didn't want to go. But it opened my mind to the possibilities that there are other things out there. There are other ways of going. I didn't need to corral myself like everybody else and march myself to school every day, to march myself to my job every day for the rest of my 40 years that I was going to work. It made me nauseous to think I was going to have a job for the rest of my life. I couldn't. I couldn't. Not everybody's in the same position. Some people love that stuff. It wasn't for me. Okay? We live in America. If there's somebody else that's a millionaire, I can be too. If there's somebody else that has a lifestyle, I can have it too. That's how it works here. But nobody's going to give it to us. We have to go get it. We have to go get it in an honest, ethical way and help other people along the way. And that's what we have with Common Sense Financial. Nobody's ever going to get mad at you for having lost their money in the market. I've been down that road too. I used to have securities licenses for 26 years. And my clients lost money big in downturns. So did I. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money I lost in the market. Haven't lost a dime with the products we have today. They're awesome. Sorry, I got on a tangent there. I'm not going to finish it. Well, maybe I will. It's the first sunny day on a Saturday I've seen in a while. It's the first sunny day in a while because we've had all this snow, right? What should I do? Go to training or Super Saturday, whatever's going on? Knock out chores that need to be done at home? Go snowmobiling or skiing with my family? Or take time to get my next week's appointment scheduled and stay focused on my dreams and goals? Or D, all of the above? What would you say? I do D. I can do them all. I just took a test and got a 69. What should I do? Reschedule the test for a month or so, month out or so I can study longer and harder? Stop scheduling appointments and really put in the studying? You know, stop scheduling training appointments and just study? Or reschedule the test as soon as possible and keep my scheduling appointments to keep me motivated to pass the test? Or D, quit. I guess it wasn't for me. I was close to being a winner. I got a 69 my first time taking the test. I don't know, what do you think? What's best answer? C.
If you got 10% of that, you might wanna think maybe this is that's 69.
I mean, I've never heard of a 10%. That means they just didn't try. I've recently put together my work schedule that I'm committed to all year long to achieve my dreams and goals. I mean, we're just the beginning of February, so we probably all kind of did this, right? I wake up sluggish, not feeling well. I don't have any appointments for the day. Do I lay around waiting to feel better? B, jump out of bed and focus on my morning routine, get to the office and make something happen? Or C, wait for my team to call and get something going? Huh?
B.
B. That's what I'd do. How do I know I'm actually making progress in my business? A, I attend the meetings, but no one knows I do this outside of CSF. I do a lot of personal development and study, a lot, but don't meet with too many people. I'm reaching out to people, giving presentations, helping new people get going with their, and writing deals. See, we're moving forward. Sometimes, you guys, it feels like you're moving through quicksand, or swimming upstream. You know, you're just not moving. Keep moving before you know it, so momentum is going to hit your side. Keep moving. Too many people stop in the quicksand and they go down with it. Okay? Or they stop swimming upstream and the stream takes them down. Keep moving. Keep moving. That will eventually pay off. It will eventually take care of itself. Momentum will come on your side as long as you stay after it, stay after it, stay after it, stay after it. How do I know I'm taking the appropriate levels of action? A, I'm incredibly busy with appointments and I squeeze every second I have out of the day. B, I have 1 to 3 meetings a week. C, I'm consistent with going to meetings, but that's about it. It's A, right? Okay, which is more important? Oh, which is more important, skill set or mindset, and why?
Yeah, mindset.
You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't have a winning attitude, it's going to mean nothing. Sometimes we train people that are with us for years, and they have the skills, they know what to do, they're actually getting really good at it, but their mind's in the wrong place. And they use excuses to give up. They use, oh, it's too hard, isn't it? Whatever. They're going to get their reward they deserve according to the decisions that they make. Is being coachable really that important to be successful in our business? And why? You guys, we are paid to imitate, not create. There may come a day when you're making $500,000 a year and you want to try something different, go for it. But until that time, this couple right here, in my 30 years of going and hiring over 8,000 people, they are the most coachable. You might say it's my daughter. That doesn't have nothing to do with it. They are the most coachable people I've had on my team in over 8,000 people. And for that, they're seeing tremendous spiking results right now. Wasn't easy. First 2 years, Tasha in meetings would say hi with me. She was with me. She'd say hi and goodbye. She scheduled most of the appointments, but they didn't even know that. They thought it was some assistant. True story. For 2 years, she didn't say hardly a word. Then she went out on her own doing appointments with college people, because I said, just go practice. Doesn't matter if you write a deal or not. You probably know you're not going to. Just go give a bunch of them. So she gave 112 and wrote 0 deals. Okay? Then she gradually started to get better. Finally, Mike joins up with her as they get married. and they take off in their business, and within 90 days they became qualified partners. First qualified partners the company ever had. Okay. Short time after that, they finally passed the 6-figure mark. But that was how many years into the business?
For me, 5.
5 years into the business before she passed 6 figures. And it just kind of barely eked over that. And stayed from about the 100 to 150,000 mark for how many years? 3? For 3 more years, just right in there. Kind of stagnant. Okay income, but just stagnant. Then boom, jumped to 289, and then boom, blew right through 400 grand last year. And well on their way to the next one. And it's exponential right now, starting to go. Okay? Because they're very coachable. We meet once a week, we talk about things, they go do it. It's not a question. Didn't argue about it. Well, my experienced dad's told me this. We don't have that problem. Hasn't happened yet. I'm almost done, I promise you. But training should be going this long anyway. Which is most important in our business? List the following in order of importance for success in building your business. Personal production, recruiting, personal development, goals, habits. In order of how, of importance, what would you say?
Habits is first. Really good habits.
You know, I hadn't looked at this question, so we're developing this together. And my opinion of, as I look at this would be, I probably set goals first so that I can have a desire to develop the habits. I need to go through some personal development, but how do I do that? I'm going to do that while I'm recruiting and personal production. Okay? That's my opinion. I don't know what the answer was because they don't give us what they thought.
I think it's just upside down. Not quite.
Pretty close.
Swap goals and habits.
Pretty close. Tiffany and I read this twice a day. I have for years, actually. It's in my affirmations. It's a little poem. I don't remember who wrote it. I think I got it out of Think and Grow Rich. But it's powerful. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in his state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. The more action you take, the more focused you are, the more you believe you deserve it. When you first get started, you don't believe you deserve 100 grand a year. You want it. But there will come a point where you're like, I am so worth more than 100 grand. I'm not paid enough. And then you start making the bigger cotton where you're like, am I really worth it? They're probably still saying, yeah, I'm really worth this. But there will come a point where there's like, they're getting paid way more than they're probably thinking they're worth. But that's because of how many lives they're affecting at that point for the positive. The more lives you affect, you know, the more you're going to make. But you guys, it's all about the mindset, the winner's mindset. Once you believe you can win it, once you believe you can have it, once you believe you deserve it, and that all comes from activity. Okay? All right. I appreciate the partners putting all these questions together. Thank you guys for doing that. You guys have an awesome weekend. I know we got Super Saturday going on. And by the way, I would get registered for convention before Monday because the price does go up on Monday. You know, I remember getting started in businesses in the past, even in financial services, and they talked about an event coming up. My first event, excuse me, first convention I went to cost me $2,500. It was in Boca Raton, Florida. I did not have $2,500. Okay? I had to borrow my father-in-law's credit card so that we could go. And I wasn't going to go. I'm like, it didn't even enter my mind to go. I wasn't going to go. And my trainer said, I don't think I'm going. He wasn't going to go either. In fact, I don't remember how I got convinced to go. I don't remember. But I remember it was a big sacrifice, and I went. And everything changed from that point forward. You got to go to these. We don't hold these. Look, I don't like sitting through all these hours. You probably, your tushy's sore right now. You're like, end, Scott, be done. I get it. I'm not one that loves meeting after meeting after meeting over a convention time frame. And as a company, it's hard to prepare, to find the location, to get the speaker. It's not a fun process. And it's not profitable for the company, maybe someday, but we go in the hole on these by thousands and thousands. So why do we do it? Because it's so critical for you. That's why we do it. Please get registered, come, engage, sell out. Because when you do, you can plant your flag, and that's when success will start to happen. If you dabble with it and you kind of do the, what's that song they call? You stick your big toe in, huh? Big toe out? The hokey pokey. If you're going to do the hokey pokey with this, it's not going to work. It's not just this. No business is going to work. You got to get all in. What? What's funny? It's not,
Come on, Scott.
it's,
Get your whole side in.
yeah, you got to get, and that's why that song probably was made. Because you got to get all in, right? All right, thank you.
So,
change your life for the better. Everybody goes through something. Scott's sister started this. No, when Scott's sister started this, says, just through the grapevine, not to his face, his sister sure fell.
Definitely not Richfield.
Yeah,
So,
just no support is there. I mean, just, and it was, and it's Scott, when he hired on, he had to get 3 licenses, the insurance, and then 2 security licenses. And he had to mail in his $750 check, in with his stamp, with his paperwork, off to the home office, which was in like Georgia, I think it was. They were getting in the middle of moving offices, one side to another, they lost his paperwork. Because it was money work, they lost it. And he just made sure we had no money. I was making $400 every 2 weeks at a gas station. And so we had to, did he do it all over again? I mean, these are just all these things that we look, look at, you're like, everything seems so stacked against you that you're just, it's that test of how serious are you? How serious are you to go change this, to change your life? You gotta do what you want to do.
oh, wow.
And that's
Okay.
kind of how I felt after I came and was sitting here and like,
Okay.
why am I working for someone that sits here and tells me one thing, and then I turn around and get told something else, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is not okay.
No.
I'm like, you sit here and tell me I'm doing a great job, but then I turn around and you're picking all the little teeny things apart to make me feel like I'm not worth it. I'm like, why?
This, Sean, that's what you find out there. I mean, people are just so used to finding fault, finding the negative, and picking apart something. And that's not the environment we have here.
Yeah.
We want to
That's why I'm
recognize
like, I
for the
love
fast
this.
start, for the smart, I mean, for just making efforts along the way. That's the whole point, is encourage. It's called EPR, encourage, praise, and recognize. Don't condemn, criticize, and complain. That's 3 C's. It's now EPR. That's the whole point, EPR people.
That's the thing, I'm like, I don't know if she's like worried because she knows I've started doing this, and now I'm like, you're just pushing me further away.
Yeah.
I'm like, you sit here and tell me that I'm doing a good job and stuff, but then it's like, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's like, don't go home and think about it, like, go enjoy your weekend. And I'm like,
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
oh,
That helps.
that was great.
Yeah.
I love you, Mel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I thought we were good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ticked. I'm like, so yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, maybe you just gonna stay. I'm like, no. I gotta go and get away, and
And
it was
so
perfect.
positive.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was like,
I'm glad you enjoyed
it's what I
it.
needed.
Mhm.
It's what I needed.
Yeah. And you never know when that meeting, when it is gonna be something you need, right?
Yeah.
Every meeting, yeah.
So always the one that you miss is the one that you need,
It's so true.
or the one that you almost
Not
miss.
if you attend all meetings.
That's why I threw that out there, the one that you almost missed.
That's why I'm here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Glad you came, 'cause it's, you know,
Yeah.
that's why we put that on the question, was because we've had so many people who fail the test. And we've had so many people even tell us that, you know, I quit out of this work, not a UCP, or whatever reason they find that they're reserved, and then the next, not even a
I
month
can't
later,
do this.
it's too hard, you know, we said it's not for, we've got a different answer, or it's not for us anymore, or that's why it's like, well, I was almost a winner.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so frustrating to watch people give up on
Their dreams.
their dreams.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so, because it's worth, like Scott said, you've done $25,000 a year, because the freedoms that come, you don't have somebody over there all the time and how worthless you are.
Yep.
You're not doing a good enough job, you know?
Yep.
You're in charge.
Work takes work.
Yes,
Effort.
yes.
And I've done other things, and I've quit other things,
Yeah.
but it was like, hey, it's not working
Yeah.
because of one situation.
Right,
I
right.
didn't have the backup. I didn't, different things that
Scott
I'm
went
like,
through
I don't want to
11
work
business
for.
failures before he finally found
Yeah.
something here. And the difference between here versus, okay, Utah's inundated with MLMs, right?
Oh,
And not that they're not some good quality